Off the press.
Hot off the presses. Welcome to Today on this Thursday morning, October 24th, 2013. I'm Willie Geist along with Natalie Morales and the pride of Arizona State University, Roker.
All right.
Hey, you were blowing it out with them yesterday.
They
love you.
It was a lot of fun.
So legit surprise?
I mean, totally.
It looked like
it was pretty cool in that they were just for half a second. I don't think it registered that it was actually me, and then boom, they kind of exploded. It was a lot of fun.
They're cool.
I think the Sun Devil mascot is feeling a little threatened.
Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky's kind of saying...
I brought the head back with me.
Is that a carry-on or a checked item?
It was a checked item.
Checked it. Smart man. And I see the blood has come back into your body.
Finally,
after
I had a really good head rush, though. That was good.
Did it work?
That. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good for the back, too, to stretch you out a bit. But, yeah, good for the brain.
Oh, it worked during the Middle Ages.
It did. It was torture then.
Nice.
A little bit different. All right, this is a pretty wild story. I don't know if you've heard about this out of the state of Maryland. The Attorney General there, who's also running for governor, Douglas Gansler, is in some hot water. There was a photo published this morning in the Baltimore Sun that showed him at a teenage house party back in June where there was underage drinking. He's a Democrat who, as I said, is running for governor. He told the Baltimore Sun he stopped by the Delaware Beach House to talk briefly to his teenage son who was there.
They were there for Senior Week, by the way.
Senior Week, right.
And a lot of parents apparently got together and they rented the house for the kids for Senior Week.
Yep.
They knew there was underage drinking going on, I would assume, and this is something that happens during Senior Week quite a bit for a lot of students. But the parents, they did say the parents were chaperoning what was going on at the house. There were 2 parents every night chaperoning the house.
The attorney, I guess they made a plan. They said, look, we know it's Senior Week. These kids are 18 years old. They're going to go drink somewhere. Let's try to control it. So they rented, the parents rent the house. Yeah. They printed rules that were given to the Baltimore Sun to show all the kids there. You can't get in a car.
Right.
You can't drink hard alcohol. I'm not sure that makes it better. Beer can get you as drunk. But they tried to contain it somehow. Now, this wasn't... You can agree or disagree with that, but certainly unwise for someone who's running for governor of the state of Maryland.
Earlier, he had actually publicly advocated against underage drinking. In fact, we've got a video for the Century Council, a group that works to combat teen drinking. Take a look.
I'm Attorney General Doug Gansler. Alarmingly, kids typically begin to experiment with alcohol around age 12. Parents, you're the leading influence on your teen's decision not to drink. It's never too early to talk with your kids about smart ways to say no, like these young Marylanders.
Okay, that's not good. That's just not good.
Yeah, he's his own words there. Although what he told the paper, we did reach out to the Attorney General Gansler this morning. We haven't heard back from him, but he did tell the Baltimore Sun paper, assume for purposes of discussion, that there was widespread drinking at this party. How is that relevant to me? The question is, do I have any moral authority over other people's children at Beach Week in another state? I say no. It's tough. I mean, when you're, no matter if you're Attorney General, running for governor, all of that, parenting another parent's child, that's a slippery slope.
But on the other hand, if it was my kids and Willie, you had gone to the party, I would hope that maybe you'd say, you know, guys, this is acting as a sense as a surrogate, just taking. It's a very tough call.
This is a hard one too because it's not like a bunch of kids were throwing their own party and a dad showed up and said, "What are you doing here?" I mean, they organized
this was organized by the parents.
By the parents.
And there is a photo that was posted on Instagram, apparently, I guess, by one of the students who was at that party, and the photo shows him in the middle of it taking a photo, and a bunch of kids with plastic cups, most likely not Coca-Cola in those cups.
But we don't know.
But we don't know. But yes, and he was one of the parents who also was part of helping rent the house out for the kids.
If you're making that PSA and you're running for governor, you probably don't want to rent out the underage drinking pad for the week.
Okay.
All right.
There's going to be more on this.
Here's another strange teacher story here. This one's from Albequerque, New Mexico. A teacher's aide taped a 16-year-old student's mouth shut in class. Physically taped it shut.
And what makes it worse, the boy has cerebral palsy and is in a wheelchair. The aide said it was done in a, quote, playful act after he made too much noise.
Unbelievable. This happened back in September. Now, the school said both the aide, Dolores Lopez, and the teacher were placed on paid administrative leave while Albuquerque's public schools, human resources, and police investigated. The teacher did receive a letter of reprimand, was allowed to go back to work, is now in a, and the aide was suspended for a couple of days, 5-day suspension without pay, and a letter of reprimand as well, but also able to go back to work, but in a different position, not in that classroom still.
It's interesting because the boy's grandmother, who is his guardian, said she doesn't think the teacher's aide should be allowed back to work. It's hard to see the other side of the story. I don't know what's playful about that.
However, the superintendent of schools, Winston Brooks, issues a statement to Today saying, quote, "I'd like to be very clear so there's no question about what I'm saying. It is never, ever acceptable to place any kind of tape over the mouth of any student. Unacceptable, period. Because it is a personnel issue, there are facts in the case that can't be shared publicly." And he said he may not agree with some of the terms of discipline, but due process was followed.
Like I say, I don't know how you defend it.
It's hard to see if there are two sides, what those sides are. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to see that young child, you know, and imagine what happens. And we talk about bullying so much, and it's just, you see an example like that.
It's sort of implied in that statement from the superintendent that there's more to the story.
Yeah.
It seems like it would behoove them to maybe let that out.
Let that out immediately.
Yeah, strange one. Okay, this is a good one. Excuses, excuses. 3 in 10 workers go to work sick to save sick days for when they're feeling well. That's according to a survey from Career Builder. Wow. Did you follow that one?
Yeah.
30% of employers say they've checked in on employees who have called in sick to make sure the excuse is legitimate.
Oh, there you go. They're going to catch you.
Like that guy who pushed the boulder
on
over.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or people post.
I got a bad back.
People post stuff. Oh, I'm at Disney World on Facebook. Not really sick.
Right. Yeah, don't post to Facebook. All right, these are incredible. So the survey found the most outrageous excuses workers have given when calling in sick. The employee's favorite football team lost on Sunday, so needed a Monday to recover. Very pathetic.
Hey, you all laugh, but we all know who's guilty here. Okay?
Natalie's turning on you.
How about an employee quitting smoking and grouchy, needs a day off?
Or
Okay.
That's probably a good thing. You probably want to give him the day off.
This is the best one. Employee claimed a swarm of bees surrounded his vehicle. He couldn't make it in.
That has to be true, because who comes up with that?
The bees took the keys, threw them, so that the guy couldn't drive away from the swarm of bees.
See, I actually believe that one.
Wow.
Because who could come up with something so stupid?
Wow.
I think as the employer, you just kind of give him that day. So, you know what, that is so ridiculous.
Wow.
Take the day off.
You know
well
what? You're
done.
so dumb. You don't even. You shouldn't even come in.
This is a good one. Employee said the chemical in turkey made him fall asleep and he missed his shift.
Oh my God.
I can see that one.
Well, he was
Food
actually
coma.
in Turkey.
That's true. Well, that's actually true. The tryptophan, once it hits, right?
Boom. That's an actual
You're
thing.
out. You're.
You guys ever had any bad
Thanksgiving?
excuses going into work? Come on now.
I have the hardest time ever calling in sick. I mean, we have, you know, you can't. And then when I am home, even if I'm throwing up, I feel guilty about it. Like, I should be at work.
We'd rather you stay at home.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Thank you.
And P.S., please don't act it out again.
We appreciate your commitment, but please don't come to work like that. This next one is so funny. It's a correction in the Washington Post.
I love this. I saw this yesterday. I was dying.
There's a Navy captain who works at the Guantanamo Bay prison camp was the subject of an interesting newspaper correction in the Post. The Post published an article last week about the PR makeover that camp has been going through. It featured comments from 47-year-old Navy captain Robert Durand. There were no photos of Durand in the article. Then yesterday, the paper issued a correction saying this. Ready? An October 14th Style article about access to the prison camp for terrorism suspects at the U.S. Naval Base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, incorrectly referred to Navy Captain Robert Durand as, quote, thick-set. Wait for it now. He should have been described as muscular.
Okay.
With photos of Durand,
muscular.
he's muscular.
He is muscular.
What does
I'll give him that.
thick-set even mean?
That's me.
No, I've heard
I
heavy
give
set.
you muscular,
I'm
too,
thick
Mr.
set.
Roker.
I feel like...
Oh
That's
my
like
gosh.
describing me as slightly balding.
See, heavy set I've heard. Thick set. Thick, I feel like maybe you're jacked or something.
I think it means you're a little more a lug.
Yeah. Like a goon, kind of.
But definitely he is not thick set.
No, he is.
Neither he nor his wife are thick set.
There's a good picture of his wife, too, and they're very, very
They're muscular.
They're muscular.
They're muscular.
They're
lean and muscular.
I think they're muscular.
They're lean and
Who
muscular.
describes somebody as thick set? Come on, that's ridiculous.
That was like when I was a kid, I was described as husky.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, but they still make husky jeans.
Husky.
So husky is, I mean...
Yeah, like you're going to get strapped to a dog sled and run the Iditarod.
It's the worst euphemism.
I'm husky.
It's really hard when you have to buy husky clothes for
Going
your
to
kids.
Robert Hall when I was a
Yeah.
kid, or my parents would take me to Montgomery Wards, you know, the husky
The husky
department.
section.
Husky section. All right, Mr. Roker, you are not husky either.
No.